sheet.
Come in.
No, I sent it to you. Did you get the agenda that I sent just before I left for the meeting at quarter after? You had asked for it? Oh, I did forward it to you. Do you want me to do attendance? Okay, Craig Leggett. Michael Biddle.
Here.
Brian Campbell. Mike Grasso.
Present.
Jenny Sullivan.
Here.
Mike Weil.
Right here.
Dan Bruno.
Here.
Bruce Ferguson. Nick Caimano.
Here.
Dave O'Brien.
Here. Michael, your address is just Ben Biddle.
And for the record, Brian Campbell just walked
We have
in.
one conversation real quick.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes of September 21st, 2020.
I'll make it.
Motion by Mr. Biddle. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Grasso. Any omissions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Carried. First order of business, I think, Jack. Can you hear me, Jack?
Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me okay?
I do. Kara had sent the contract changes to Mr. Nolan. And Rob, I thought that there was, Bob was gonna send us a letter. I hadn't received a letter.
Yes, Michael received a letter, my attorney,
Okay,
and I did have a 30-minute meeting with Michael pertaining to the changes, the covenant changes. Michael has not returned the letter to Kara,
okay,
primarily because he's got 42 main county closings to do.
okay, no problem.
But two of the questions that him and I had at our meeting, Kara was looking for screening, and we were looking for some more specifics on the screening. What I had done, and I talked to Mr. Kelly about it on other sites, is I had done some berms and some trees. I guess Mr. Kelly and Mr. Heslop had discussed with the building inspector, maybe just some fencing with the green slots that go through it. Is that correct, Mr. Kelly?
As it related to outside storage areas.
Correct.
Mr. Nolan, I believe that you, in your normal day-to-day activities, you may have some tanks that will be brought in, taken out, that are used in your day-to-day activities. And it was suggested, and Tom thought that it was something that you would agree to, is it'd be a chain link fence for that green flagging that would go in. And that seemed to take care of any concerns that the building inspector in Kingsbury was going to have.
That was one of the subjects. The second subject was the length of time we had to complete the project. We had asked for 36 months, and I think Kara came back at 32. Am I correct in how she did her formula?
I think we did 18 months to commence construction, and then it would be completed within 12 months thereafter.
So I think that was 30 months from start.
So it was 30 months was the total?
That's what Kara had in her
Yeah,
letter.
12 months, 18 months and then 12 months.
And that's from the closing?
Yeah.
Yes.
18 and 12?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the answer to the question, which I had in my same question was, when does the timeline begin?
At closing. You hear that, Jack?
Yes, and Bob, that you should know fairly quickly because the closing won't take place until you have your approvals from the Kingsbury Planning Board, which was some of your concern originally, saying that sometimes it takes upwards of 12 months to get that approval to take place. So, from my experience, I don't know about yours, but 30 months should be more than enough time to put your bid specs out, get the construction, and get a certificate of occupancy. Have you found that to be the same?
So Michael and I agreed that that would be more than enough time to complete the project.
Okay.
Just the way that Kara had it out, we were trying to see what it actually was. We were a little confused, I'm not sure it is.
Okay.
The third question I have, what is the name of the town of Kingsbury attorney?
Town of Kingsbury attorney, I believe, is Jeff Myers, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Jeff Myers.
I could not find that anywhere on the website. And Jeff Meyer,
Yeah.
that would be M-E-Y-E-R-S.
Yes.
No S.
No S.
There, he's at Meyer, Fuller, Stockwell, and Lake George. I can send that contact information to your attorney if you want, or you, I mean, I can circulate it.
And Rob, when you told me about the berm, I thought the berm and trees on it was a great idea.
It is. It actually, as the trees develop, it shields any, it provides a nice screen from the tanks and all that, or the fence, either way, it would work fine. We just wanted some specifics because I'm on the zoning board down here. And some tree has to go or do something. And what we think he's gonna do and what he does, he doesn't do. So we just wanted some specifics on that.
Okay, good. Any other outstanding issues? Kara?
I don't have any.
Okay, so basically what you found was most of the conditions we did with the, were satisfactory, correct?
Yes, they were, and Mike sent a draft a letter back to Sarah.
Okay,
I have a meeting with Michael in about 30 minutes. So I'll relay the information from, our meeting with him. And, he'll probably reach out to Sarah if he has any questions.
okay. Any other questions from the board for Mr. Nolan? So if we have everything resolved, could I get a motion from the board to sign the contracts once the legal language is finished? We know the terms and everything was acceptable.
Okay.
Motion by Nick, do I have a second? Mr. Biddle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is Jeff Kelly, just for a point of clarification, I believe that there'll be another vote later on to authorize the closing to take place. So if there's anything that comes up from the planning board or something like that, that the
Correct.
IDA will have another opportunity.
Correct. And I also wanted to mention, Rob, you told me that your town's intention was to talk to all the neighbors down there.
What's that? I couldn't understand what you said there.
I said, I think you had told me one time, or Jack had told me that you and Tom had wanted to talk to the neighbors down there before just on what you're doing.
Correct. Tom has suggested that we meet with the fire company and any neighbors that maybe had a concern about the project. Correct.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. Thanks, Rob. And
Hey, this is Tom Eskel.
hi, Tom. You made it.
No, I've been listening, I've been enjoying the conversation,
Okay.
but I spoke with Jack today, and what I had said both today and in the past was I was waiting for this opportunity, and that I would like to, if Rob can accompany, fine, if not, myself and our quote expert, John Hart, would reach out to the fire chief, the town supervisor, and Mr. Kelly next door to make a personal visit, and then also those 3 immediate businesses that are next to the lot that we're talking about.
Okay. Good. All right, Tom, do you have anything else? All right.
On my part, thank you.
Okay, well, we thank you for joining us and appreciate working with you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Okay, next order of business. Did Mr. Jack, did you hear from Why Not?
No, I did not. I had a call into, Tom this morning and I sent them an email, which I sent you in for a copy, and I don't know if they're on the line here or not.
I do not see them.
Basically, you may want to report or someone report on the, committee meeting with them. And, basically they are waiting for the, wetland delineation map to come out to determine which lot that they would like to move forward on.
Yeah, basically, Why Not Services is a local family from Lake George. The father is in HVAC and does a lot of work down in the city in Long Island with the schools in the city and other places. His son have a business going that they started, and they are looking to expand the business. They're looking to expand the business in 2 ways. First of all, they're looking to do a franchise for robot-controlled mowing machines. So that's one area that we want to look at and turn around and tickle with and work with to figure out how to do those and sell those. The second is they are interested in doing some things with fertilizer. And what they'll be doing is they look at the calculations so that they can do it in the Adirondacks. So they meet the needs of the Adirondack for fertilization and things. So that's another they're looking at. So they are interested in a lot. They are waiting for delineation to be completed. We've had an issue getting an overlay. The delineation has been completed. We have an issue doing an overlay on the current map. We have 2 people working on it, so hopefully it'll be done first. We have a couple choices of lots they're looking at, but they are looking at a couple lots. So we should continue that conversation later when that happens. So that's where we're at with that one.
There'll be no action until.
No action until we get the lot selected, right? All right, next item of business is current accounts payable. You have the accounts payable in front of you. Please review those and someone can make the motion to accept, to pay the accounts payable.
So move.
Moved by Brian, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Biddle, roll call please.
Michael Biddle,
Yes.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Mike Grasso,
Yes.
Ginny Sullivan, Mike Wild,
Yeah.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Dave O'Brien.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Nick Caimano.
Oh.
I skipped you, sorry.
I did.
She's hitting it tonight.
Doesn't know how to spell it.
pass-through payments? How are we doing on those?
We just got 2 today, the ones that you signed before the meeting, and we have ICC 4 still left to pay, as well as their village taxes.
Well, that's not surprising. They're late every year. Yeah. Okay. Park business, we covered those 2 things. Old business is parcels containing for the road acquisition update. We have sent out pre-engineering reports, RFPs for the bridge. One grant we are applying for requires a pre-engineering grant. We have gotten it following the procedure, policy and procedures of the procurement policy. We put those out for bid. We got 2 back. We're still reviewing those. We also have a grant that we are looking at with National Grid that's going to have to help cover the cost of the pre-engineering plus the USDA study grant that we looked at for doing the marketing and layout of what we would do with that property in the future. So that's being applied for to take care of any out-of-pocket costs, almost all the out-of-pocket costs from the IDA. Any questions on the grant? Finally, after we finally got the deed from the state on that last piece of property, that little square triangle piece of property.
That's the one we paid for.
That's the one we paid for Canal Corporation. So we had that in place. We formally accepted the MDRC grant for $600,000. Now we need to look at the grants for the others. Any questions on the grants or the status of the road? Basically still the same area. We'll close on the balance of the properties in January. They'll have complete durable access and ownership of the road.
And that it ends at a town road though, right? It ends at.
No. It will end at the entrance to the park.
Yeah.
The water facility, yes.
But that's at a town road.
Will not be a town road until the taxes are paid and the subdivision takes place.
No. We always talk about it as being 196, but it's actually,
Oh, you're going the other way.
yeah, it's actually.
It starts at
Yeah, I don't know the name of the road.
the first line goes in from Meriwether parcel all the way to the water facility.
Yeah, but it's a
Right.
town road, right, that it comes off of.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure we all understood that.
Okay.
We always say 196, but 196
Yes.
and then a town road and then our road starts.
So, we're still working with the company up in Chester. They had some issues with timing come up, so they're looking at that. They're still interested in proceeding. So we should hear more from them next week. I would like to get a synopsis from the Sales and Marketing Committee, what they were able to accomplish. Dan, you're the guy.
Hey, how about that? Hey, when we met last, Dave, you were gonna give me some dates that you were available to meet with Jim Siplon regarding, coordinated efforts, what have you.
Yeah.
And, I meant to get in touch with you because I hadn't heard any, but, really like to do that. I think that would be good for us. Other than that, really haven't done much. I don't know if Mike Grasso has anything or Jenny or, Nick.
So actually, Dan, I did get to meet with Jim, and we talked about a lot of things about where they want to go. Actually, Nick and Mike Grasso ended up being with me. We had a great conversation, talking about where we go from the future. He has some great dynamic plans for the EDC, what they'd like to do and where they'd like to go. They have spent a lot of time on broadband. We did agree that we should meet later and have a fuller discussion about where we want to go and how we can work together and what we're doing with it. So I do need to get you dates to meet with them, and I'll make a note of that. But I just ended up talking to him one day. He said, "Come on in, we'll talk." So sorry I didn't let you know, but
Yeah, it would have been good.
yeah, but it was a good conversation, just a sort of meeting conversation.
Not to be not to overrule you, but I wasn't at that meeting. What I did work with you on was the one we talked about today,
That's what you went there.
and the Hudson Headwaters.
Yeah, we went to Hudson Headwaters.
Winery.
Yeah.
Do I know about the one today?
Nick wasn't there.
I was there.
Nick was with Jim Slipline, so we do have another meeting scheduled. We have to schedule that. We have just had introductory meetings with Hudson Headwater. In terms of, they got nothing going on right now, but they have some projects coming up. They may need to look at some financing through the CDC for bonds. So that's a potential in the future. We do have another project we worked with today. Actually, I had a meeting last week and worked with today. A little early in the conversations, but the Fowler Square people are discussing coming in. So, but anyhow, that's just what we're talking about, looking at. So nothing major, just some discussions about what we have and what we can't have. We do have some ambitious to talk to some other companies that we're working with. We've got another lead today, so we're going to talk to that other company, so they are starting to look at. But we're also going to get some mailings out to accountants and stuff. Did we ever get going farther than that in the bankers and stuff?
I spoke with Pioneer Bank. I met with them and spoke with them on that. They're very interested. Gave them the white paper that we had come up with. And they're very interested and will include us when they talk to their people about mortgages.
Okay. It's funny because there's been a number of banks that have sent their clients here to the IDA for pilots just to get the financing. So it's been very key to what we're looking at. But I think sometime in the future we should also have another meeting and see where else we want to go from there, Dan.
Any idea when you would like to have that?
I don't, come up with some dates and I'll see when I'm available. I do need to get the dates to meet with Jim Siplon. It might be a good idea to see if we can meet with Jim Siplon on this. Might also want to see if we can pull in Mr. Wild. Also, since he's in economic development for Warren County. Mike?
Dabbling, Chairman, dabbling.
Dabbling? Okay. I am surprised at how much economic activity is really starting to take place and the people interested in doing things. There's a lot of companies looking at things, expansion plans, availability for other things. So it was pretty exciting to have that going in. So.
Mr. Chairman, along those lines, Mike, again, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all.
Thank you. I'm just curious if we have a strategy in terms of what we're looking for with the dewatering plant facility. Are we going to take the first come, first served, or do we have some type of strategy where we want almost like a spoken hub kind of deal where we get a large operation you could actually kind of expand with ancillary businesses? Do we have any thoughts or goals in terms of where we want to take this with our marketing?
I think that, to be quite blunt, I think the first item of business on the table is to get the taxes paid. Taxes aren't paid by September of next year. Then the property goes up for tax sale. I should say potentially could go up for tax sale. So our first item is to find someone to go in there to at least get the taxes paid. And yes, from there on, we'd like to find a nice strategy to look at to see what we can get in there. That's part of the reason for the USDA study, is to figure out what the best applications would be to have people in there, what the needs are. So that's part of what we're looking at. Right now, there are, without naming any names, there are a number of companies, at least in the first interest stages, looking at dewatering facility. We hope to get some good news out fairly shortly. Fairly shortly is 2 to 3 months. But, you know, until the taxes are paid, we don't have much of a long-term strategy. So we'll see what happens from there. I wish I had better news for you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, Dave, but maybe offline we can talk about it. I'd like to see an integrated approach going out to the public like we just did, saying that basically we're desperate, we need the money for the taxes. Seems like we just kind of put ourselves in a hole, and maybe we should have this conversation privately ahead of time. But I'd like to see more of a strategic play with that. We know that downstate companies are starting to reach out, you know, not only to the IDA, but they're reaching out to Warren County also. I'm sure they're reaching out to other regions to think about relocation to less dense, more safe areas for their operations. So I think we may have an opportunity to be selective, and hopefully that'll be the case.
Okay, I agree with you. So, but hopefully that's something we'll be. I mean, the taxes are a common known. It's been in the paper substantially over the past year to 2 years. So it's not like it's an unknown factor. Regulatory member training. Ally sent out an email. Ally sent out an email about the training required. So if you get that done and submit it, if you've already taken the class with or the training with another organization, just send Ally something that says I've already taken the training, so we can make the mark that you have completed for the year 2020 to 2021.
Due to COVID, mine has not been done.
What? What?
I said, due to COVID, mine has not been done.
I just got mine in today, just handed it in.
I have so many Zoom meetings, I can't find my time was.
Proposed budget has been delayed. We'll have that for next month. Ally, we got a resolution from Easton asking to be added to the opt-out list for the tax abatement policy. So we received that. You sent the copy there?
Yes, everyone received a copy.
Okay, thank you. Any comments on that, Kara? Okay, thank you. Any other business come before the committee? I'm sorry, my timing, I wanted to respect people's time, so I told them about 5 o'clock to have the executive session, so we have some time to look at it. I don't know if I can reach Ellen or Daryl to see if they can join us earlier. Apologize, I thought my scheduling time was bad. Yes, Al, you told me.
Do you want to recess and do the CDC and go back?
Yeah, so we can recess the IDA meeting. Motion by Nick, do I have a second? Second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. I'll now call the CDC meeting to order. And call to order and confirm attendance.
Want me to take attendance again?
Sure.
Craig Leggett? Michael Biddle? Michael Biddle?
Yes, ma'am.
Brian Campbell?
Here.
Mike Grasso?
Present.
Ginny Sullivan?
Here.
Mike Wild?
I'm here.
Dan Bruno?
Here.
Bruce Ferguson? Nick Caimano?
Here.
Dave O'Brien?
Here. Any motion to approve the minutes of last board meeting of September 21st?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Biddle, second by, is that Mike? Second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have one accounts payable, McCarthy and Conlon for $100.
Move it.
Motion by Brian to move it. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Biddle.
We're just laughing because we're just pausing for.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Aye.
Again, proposed budget will be next month. And the regulatory member training also. Anything else come before the CDC? I need a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Biddle, second by Brian. So we have about 25 minutes, so I will try and get a hold and see if they can join early. I'm not sure they can, but I'll try it. So if not, we'll reconvene at 5 o'clock.
Golly, this is Mike.
Yes?
Is there an opportunity for you to turn your camera around? It's not like I don't like looking at you, but I'd like to see who else is in the boardroom. Is there a way you can do that so we can see the friendly faces of some of my peers that all
We all have masks on.
Oh, just turn the whole computer? That's not actually.
What's that, Allie?
Okay.
What's that, the camera thing?
That's the YouTube.
That's YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Okay, tell me what you see. I'm gonna turn this around, okay?
Okay.
No.
I see somebody waving. I'm not sure who's who, but you know, maybe I can make out.
I'm Brian Campbell.
Raise your hand, Brian Campbell. That's not the one I would have guessed.
Well, for the record, just so you know, Kara's here, Dave, myself, Mr. Caimano, Mr. Losa, Mr. Grasso, Mr. Biddle, and Mr. Campbell, as you know.
Thank you, Allie.
Are we off right now? Are we off YouTube?
Should be.
We should be.
Okay.
We,
But you should say whether we're gonna adjourn out.
We'll adjourn, we will be doing that executive session.
Excellent.
Well, once I end the stream, it's done. I can't go back. So we're just done.
Done with YouTube.
Okay. Got it.